Well, let me first of all express my thanks and gratitude to Professor Ashok Junjunwala, the Director of IIT Madras Research Park, for associating me and Global Rainbow Foundation with this really remarkable initiative of Empower 2022 in IIT Madras Research Park. As you just heard about my journey, but I want to add one thing on that, which explains why, after the journey that I've had as Minister of Education, World Bank, and UNESCO, why I am now engaged in this, what I call the journey of giving back to society. And it is all started with a reflection of where I started and how I reached that great position as a world citizen. It started where I was born in Mauritius. My great-grandfather left Tamil Nadu, Salem in 1884, came to Mauritius. I'm the fourth generation. And I was born in a thatch roof house. My mother was illiterate. And my father had 3-year primary in a family of 11 children. When I look at where I started and what I've achieved, I felt a deep sense of gratitude. And this prompted me to say, now, after this service as Minister, World Bank and UNESCO, it's time to give back from age 60 onwards. And this is what I'm doing in my life. I have set up the Global Rainbow Foundation Mauritius, which is running now 11 years, and serving persons with disability in Mauritius in various ways. But in June this year, I decided to set up the Global Rainbow Foundation India, and we are now physically present in India, and a partner with IIT Madras Research Park, would-be partner with IIT Madras, Dr. Sujata, who is here, and many other partners. So I just want to tell you that my presence here today is to bring my humble contribution to the great initiative all of you are taking to serve the person with disability in India. And I must tell you, I'm proud of my roots with India. India is a great country. India lives by the philosophy of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. For India, the whole world is one family, and India is known across the world to be serving the whole world, not only looking at its own country, its own interests. And I would recall during COVID time, Prime Minister Modi, while developing the COVID vaccine, although you have 1.3 billion people in India, he shared with other countries. And myself in Mauritius, we got the Covaxin, and I did my 2 doses of vaccination with Covaxin. So this is what I mean by India and the philosophy of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. And therefore, my message today will be totally different from what you've heard so far, because these are experts in the field. I am more in terms of advocacy, policy, and I would therefore like to make my presentation along this line. But what I must say, having attended the various talks and presentations here, I must say India has a very important global role to play in advocating and supporting persons with disabilities across the world, I must say. You are doing a lot of initiative, and all this could be galvanized for business purposes, but also for service to humanity. I would, I've chosen the topic, Leave No One Behind. The world can and should be an inclusive society. And the Empower Conference, as you could see, and I once again commend Professor Ashok Junjunwala, who spoke about the vision in making India become the leader in assistive technology in the very near future. And I think everyone will join me in commending him for this initiative, this vision. By creating IIT Madras Research Park, he has already sowed the seed of incubators for the future entrepreneurs. Thanks to Professor Junjunwala and his team for putting such a conference to fruition and giving such a platform for ideas, innovation, but also for networking to take place. In fact, it is an empowering achievement indeed. Well, I will talk about the global community and what their role should be and how we should galvanize them to support this initiative in favor of persons with disability across the world. Let me take the UN 2030 agenda and SDGs. You know, the UN 2030 agenda for SDGs and its 17 SDGs pledge to leave no one behind and recognize disability as an issue that cuts across all SDGs. Previously, Millennium Development Goals did not include disability, and the advocacy got it there with the SDGs. And this is a major achievement. In 2015, all countries in the UN adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. 15%, this is very important, we don't realize that, 15% of the world population live with disabilities, which is approximately 1 billion, a very huge number. And in each country is almost 10%. Out of this 1 billion people, 80% of persons with disabilities live in developing countries. This is where we have the challenge. And this is where India can play a lead role globally. The 2030 Agenda is a commitment by government to build a better future for all people, including millions who are currently denied the chance to lead decent, dignified, and rewarding lives and to achieve their full human potential. Succeeding in ending poverty, reducing inequalities, and saving the planet from ecological degradation and climate change. The Indian perspective, I must commend India, and in particular Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I always commend him for leading, supporting to get the Indian Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act in Parliament. It's a great achievement, I must tell you. You may not realize it. I know the concern in India is that the implementation is a big challenge. But you have the law, and that's to start with a great achievement. I can tell you in my own country, I've been struggling to get a law for the disabled people. And fortunately, in the electoral manifesto, the government promised a bill, disability bill, and amending the constitution to remove discrimination against disability in the constitution. From 2014 to date, the bill has not come out at all. And India has shown the light, and that's why I keep on telling in Parliament in Mauritius, I've got MPs putting questions to government. Why don't you go to India? We are very close to India. Why don't you go to India, get support, and get the bill out? And what we have done as an NGO, I have produced a bill myself with my team of legal experts, local and international. This is a draft bill which is ready to go. So I just want to share with you how you should feel lucky in India that you have this act. It needs to be further improved, certainly. And I salute Prime Minister Modi when he said, passage of Rights of Persons with Disabilities Bill 2016 is a landmark moment and will add tremendous strength to Accessible India movement. And I must also salute, since you are in Tamil Nadu, I must salute the Tamil Nadu government, which has been adjudged as the best state in the country by the government of India for the services rendered for the empowerment of the differently able on 3rd December 2021, on the International Day of Persons with Disability. And this policy note from Tamil Nadu government on what they provide, Department for the Welfare of Differently Able Persons, I must tell you, is a major, a very, very great, important development for persons with disability, which we would like to have in our own country. Well, the other thing is that what you've done, the big progress in India, is the types of disabilities have been increased from 7 to 21, and the central government will have the power to add more types of disabilities. This is open the doors for more people to be included. In addition, government has been also right to notify any other category with specific disability. Well, let me now come to one of the big players in the world, World Bank. World Bank can and should be, the world can and should be an inclusive society, and we should get all those big organizations, right? And I've worked with the World Bank, I can tell you, they listen, that you have to be very forceful. And once you convince them, they will go the long way. But already, I must commend the World Bank. The World Bank has taken a landmark initiative. In fact, they have developed what they call the Group Commitments on Disability Inclusive Development. And they have come with 10 commandments, I may call. 10 commitments, but let's call it 10 commandments. One is inclusive education, as you could see on the screen. I will not read all that, but where they aim to make all World Bank finance project program in education disability inclusive by 2025. So the World Bank is directly all the member states that you have to make it inclusive. Second commitment, technology and innovation. All World Bank Finance Project in Education Disability Inclusive by 2025, SDG 9. Data disaggregation, commitment 3. We aim to make all the World Bank Finance Project programs in education disability inclusive by 2025. Then women and girls with disabilities. I won't detail out because of time constraint, but you could see that. And we'll share the PowerPoint also. Commitment 5, people with disabilities in humanitarian context. They finance project, public facilities in post-disaster reconstruction effort will be done also. And commitment 6, commitment staffing, increase the number of staff with disability. The World Bank Group, they give example themselves. And in India, I must salute you for having 3% or 4% in government service. In Mauritius, it is only in the private sector. And this is a great initiative, and I hope many private sector will do that. Well, the 10th commitment, disability inclusion and accountability framework. This is also another major part of World Bank commitment. I'm saying that precisely because we have to leverage the World Bank. And I hope Empower 2022-2023 will have a representative of the World Bank to come and listen, to come and see what Empower 2022 is doing, so that they can join in and support, and through their government-funded project, they can include that. And I would like to say that I was very pleased that the Tamil Nadu government has taken a 1,700 crore project with the World Bank called Rights, and this will be will have a major impact on benefits that person with disability can get in Tamil Nadu. Let me take the other agency, World Health Organization, who was present with us at the beginning of the inaugural, where they are doing a lot of work. I don't want to elaborate too much on that, but World Health Organization was present, the regional director spoke about it, and we should leverage them also. What I say we, I mean the government, but also civil society. We can connect with them. Many of those organizations have relation with NGOs. I know myself, in work with UNESCO, you have a special committee for NGOs, right, where you have a right to speak at the General Assembly. So we should get all these organizations to be aware of what we are doing and how they can support us in their program. So WHO will have a very important role to play. Let me come to UNESCO. I'm pleased that UNESCO New Delhi office, Abhinav is present today, and UNESCO, with Professor Junjunwala, we agreed we'll get UNESCO on board. UNESCO is present, and they also have committed themselves to provide support to this initiative, at least Empower 2022 and future one in India. And UNESCO is a good player in providing it supports the building of inclusive knowledge societies and achievement of sustainable development goals, provides technical support to its member states to comply with international law and standards, such as the UNCRPD, and with a view to leaving no one behind, UNESCO actively contributes toward the United Nations Disability Inclusion Strategy. So we leverage UNESCO, and I'm happy it's present, and I hope that UNESCO will sustain that, and will include it in its program for 2023. Now, I come now to the last part of my presentation. How can we, I'm now part of civil society, you know, I'm not in government, I'm not with UN and so on, but I'm part of civil society. And what can we do together? What can all those stakeholders present today here, the IITs, the other innovators, entrepreneurs, the incubators, what can all do together so that we can galvanize support for the initiative that we are taking and fast track whatever we are trying to do? I've seen many of in the exhibits, many of the young students doing research have developed their own technology, assistive device, but they are still at the stage of developing it. We need to give them a time frame that after developing it, you can fast track, and that they need support for that, technical, financial, and so on. And I know the IITs are doing a fantastic job. I know more of IIT Madras, IIT Research Park, and I'm sure the others also are doing it. We need to support them and give them still more assistance so that they can move faster and realize the goal, because we cannot leave those people behind. Persons with disability have equal fundamental right. They have equal right like any other citizen, so we cannot leave them behind. We have to help them, and now, and not wait for decades. So I think raise awareness, share information and coordinate with DPOs and partners, investigate on existing civil society mechanisms, reach out to ministries and government, but also to international organizations. You have World Bank working in India, you have UN, all the UN agencies. When I was director of UNESCO New Delhi, we worked with all of them, but get them to come to this community also. Get them to be connected, get them to be involved, so that they can also be your advocate, but also support you through their program. Build bridges between national processes and the SDGs and CRPDs. The 2030 Agenda is a political commitment of the government of all 193 members of states of the UN. And national focal points and coordination mechanism within government, multi-sectoral involvement of all government ministries, outreach to other national stakeholders. At the global level, persons with disability have a role in the oversight of government's commitment to the SDGs as stakeholders. In fact, World Bank and other European Union, which is a privileged partner for me for Global Rainbow Foundation in Mauritius, they do a lot of work to advocate for some causes. For example, my strongest supporter to get the bill for persons with disability in Mauritius is the European Union. And they publicly speak about it, give me support, and they are accompanying us in that. Civil society, along with other stakeholders, including government and international bodies, should form a common front and work together for the betterment of PWDs. Persons with disabilities, I'll conclude with this. Persons with disabilities must engage with their governments and monitor the implementation of the SDGs, because this is a global commitment by government. You know, every year, every 2 years or so, they have to go and report to the UN what we have done with the implementation of these, what we have done with regards to implementation of UN CRPD. And if they don't do it well, they are getting comments and criticism there. So this is the leverage we can do by bringing them a voice to be heard so that we can achieve the objectives. So persons with disabilities must engage, and I will also make an appeal. It's true in Mauritius also. I know we have 2 organizations for the blind. They are not working together. This problem of ego among our organizations should be done away with. You have to join together. You can only win if you have a united front. You know, united we win, divided we fall. So this, I think, should be the message. Forget our ego. There's so much work to be done. And each one of us has a job to do. Let's be together. If you are together, we then win. So persons with disability must engage with their government and monitor the implementation of the SDGs and the various projects so that they are for them, by them, and with them. And I'm inspired by Gandhi. I will use a final quote from Gandhi. His strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. Thank you. Let's all join together. And let's leave no one behind. And let me conclude by showing to you one initiative we've been doing in Mauritius. And this afternoon at 2 o'clock, Global Rainbow Foundation will be making a presentation in D6, thanks to the collaboration with IIT Madras Research Park. We'll be talking about what we will be going to do in India especially. But let me tell you one initiative which we are going to advocate for GRF India, Global Rainbow Foundation India, as from 2023. This is a publication I do every year for Global Rainbow Foundation Mauritius. We started in 2020, where we had 20 persons with disability. We highlight their abilities. It's a wonderful publication. Last year, 2021, 21 persons there. People we have touched their life. And this year, we are releasing the 2022. And next year for India, I am proposing we will launch the 2023 I Rise India. The term I Rise is deliberate. We want all the persons with disability to rise and also to shine. That's the mission. And that will be my humble contribution to India, the land of my forefathers. And I'll be spending a lot more time now in India. Mauritius is well established, and I will hope to see many of you. We'll work together and we'll establish partnership. And once again, let me conclude by thanking IIT Madras Research Park and all the organizers for this wonderful initiative. Together we can. Thank you very much.